Hey guys, how's it going? Solo back with another daily update video and almost the end of another trading week. Let's talk about AMD today. I am very frustrated this past few days trying to get into the market. I just cannot find a good opening, but I'm trying to stay disciplined because I don't want to FOMO into some bad positions. So we'll talk about that, and then we'll talk about Space, Virgin Galactic, and the second half of the video because Space had another big day today. I don't know why they're having a huge run up between yesterday and today. It's kind of mind-boggling to me right now. Let's see if that continues tomorrow and what the TA shows, but let's get right into it. So looking at the heat map here, you can see mixture of green and red on the board, but overall it was a green day. SPY was up, big tech was up. You can see Amazon, Facebook, Google, Microsoft, Apple all up around 1%. Look at the semis. AMD up 3.25%. Had a huge run up in the middle of the day, which we'll talk about in a second. Nvidia was pretty much flat. It had earnings yesterday and had a huge sell-off, I thought, even though they beat their earnings numbers. Micron up 1.7%, Intel up 1%. So Qualcomm was also kind of flat today. But let's get right into it. Let's talk about AMD. Here's the Robinhood graph on AMD right now. And take a look at this. I thought today might be a red day for AMD. Thought some of my covered calls would be more profitable today, but I can't complain about AMD because I'm actually happy that AMD is surging right now. You can see the market is just about to close in a few seconds, and right now AMD is up 3.75% at about $85.50 or so. Market just closed. We closed the day up 3.7%. So huge run up in AMD today, and it's surprising because take a look at it. Pre-market, we were actually down about 0.1, 0.2%. We sold off immediately within the first 5 minutes of the market to 0.5%. Rallied back up a little bit, sold off again, rallied back up. Was kind of doing nothing, maybe looking like a flat day today. And then all of a sudden at 11:15 a.m., and leave me a comment below if you know why this happened, because I don't. I don't see any news that broke. I don't know if there were any analyst upgrades, but take a look at this. From 11:15 a.m., AMD was trading at 82.81. Literally 45 minutes later, at around noontime, it jumped up just about $3 and is now up 3.24%. So I don't know what caused a huge $3 run up within this past hour between 11 a.m. and 12 p.m. If you, like I said, if you know, leave me a comment below. But then AMD pretty much traded flat. You can see during power hour had a huge, or not a huge, but a little bit of a rally. Looks like we're rallying a little bit now into the post-market trading. But I'm happy that AMD is running up right now because my covered calls that expire on December 24th are at the $90 strike price. And right now, you've seen my videos. I think the market is a little too toppy for me. It's a little too peaky for me. I think they're just blowing this bubble up as big as it can get. And the bigger the bubble, the bigger the pop, right? Now, I don't want to be bag holding shares of any stock if this market pops, because I think when it pops, and I know this might be the unpopular opinion, I'm a little bit of a bear right now, but I think when this market pops, it's going to pop hard, and I think it's going to crush hard. I don't think it's going to be as violent as the sell-off in March, meaning I don't think it's going to sell off very quickly, but I think over the next coming months, maybe even years, I think the market is going to be in a recession or even a depression, and we're just going to have a big sell-off, and it's going to be years until we recover back to the levels are right now or when we pop. That's just my opinion, and that's my hypothesis, and I'm trading as such. So let's take a look at the option chain and see what my 90 strike covered calls are going for. So if we go to December 24th, and if I wanted to buy back my 90 strike covered call, I would have to pay right now $2.98. So pretty much right what I got it for when I sold it. So I'm pretty much at break even right now. And the closer AMD gets to $90, hopefully keeps this run up going, then I'm going to be even closer to being at the money. So that means I will actually lose money if I wanted to close this position out. But right now, I have no intention of closing it out. I want AMD to go over $90. That way, I can get rid of my 200 shares because I got assigned at $85. So if I sell them off at $90, that means I'll make $1,000 in stock appreciation plus about $500 to $600 in premiums. So it'll be a good payday right before Christmas. And also, I will be completely out of AMD shares, so don't have to worry about bag holding at that point anymore in case we have a market crash. And the other stock that we'll talk about in a second is Space. But before that, let's take a look at technical analysis on AMD. So you can see I drew this green trend line over the past week or so of trading days. And yesterday we had a little bit of a red day. We broke down below that trend line, hit some resistance at about $83. That's right where we basically opened, and then we closed just shy of that. But today, take a look at this. This green candle, not only did it blast through this area of resistance at 83, but also this other area of resistance at about high 84s. And we are back right on this trend line that I drew. So I'm going to extend this out a little bit just so we can see for the coming days. But what I'm going to be looking to see tomorrow is if AMD has another green day, because if we close above this trend line, then that tells me that we are on an uptrend right now. We are on a bullish trend. The RSI is not really showing overbought, so that tells me that we might have some more room to grow. And if that's the case, it's looking pretty good for me so far, although I do have a little over a month still before my option expires. But right now, if I zoom out here, all things are looking bullish, at least in the short term, for AMD. So we'll have to wait and see how we close out the week tomorrow. But let's talk about Space. Let's talk about Virgin Galactic. And this stock has been very frustrating for me right now because I missed out on a lot of tendies because I did not get in on Monday, either with shares or with cash good puts. I've been trying to day trade this stock the past 2 days, but just have not found a good entry point. A lot of people have been asking me what I look for, what technical indicators I look for in terms of when I decide to open a stock or open a position. And I am going to be making a video soon, but just as a sneak peek, I look at the RSI intraday, I look at the VWAP, and I also have been looking at the TTM squeeze indicator. And I found that when all three of those things get to where I want, then usually if I can get filled, I get filled at a great price, and the stock usually reverses immediately so that I'm immediately profitable. I mean, some of my trades, I have been up 10, 20, even 30% in the matter of minutes because I feel like I've been timing, or at least trying to time, my entry points rather well. So that's a video that's going to be coming up a little bit soon, so make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to get notified when that video drops. But take a look at Space. We opened up pre-market already up 2.5%, and we just rallied all day long. Yes, we were a little bit choppy in the morning and in the afternoon, but the overall trend is up and to the right. So what I wanted to do was try and buy a little bit of a dip and then have Space rally up so I can swing trade it or day trade it and scalp a little bit of taco money here and there. But this stock was just green all day long, and it was like this yesterday too. I mean, take a look at this. We are up about 6.5% again. We had another big green day yesterday on Space, so I thought today for sure we would have to sell off and kind of pull back a little bit. But no, we had another huge day. So can we make it 3 days in a row tomorrow, or is tomorrow really the day where Space finally comes back down to earth? I don't know. But take a look at the TradingView chart on Space right now, because if we go to Space, look at this. This short to midterm uptrend since about early November 2nd. We did kind of sell off a little bit early in the week on the 16th, but look at this, 4 green days in a row, and now we are back up to this area of trend. So this channel, or this line, looks very similar to the AMD graph. So what I'm going to be looking for is, are we going to bounce down off this trend line tomorrow like this, or are we going to stay green again and continue up? And now is this trend line going to act as support? It's very interesting right now because if you take a look, if I delete these lines I just drew, take a look at the intraday high. It's right at my area of resistance at about $24.30. And the reason I drew that is because if you zoom out, the most recent intraday high was also pretty much right there on October 20th. And if I zoom out even more, you can see there's a few candles. There's one candle here, maybe this candle here back in July, and also a few candles here back in March. But I don't put a lot of weight on these data points because there's not a lot of candles at that price level. I mainly drew it because of this October 20th level that was the recent high. If I make this a little bit closer to the wick, if I drag it up a little bit to try and get a little bit more accurate. It'll probably line up perfectly to where we were today. And that's also where I drew the 0 point for the Fibonacci level. And you can see both of these wicks lined up right there. So this is certainly going to be an area of resistance. I think, honestly, if space stays above 24 and gets above that level, well then the sky's the limit, because we haven't been at that high since July, and the July highs were about $27, so we're just about $3 away from that already, and all-time highs were up to $42 and some change. So I think right now, if we break past 24, the next area of resistance has to be about $27 at the all-time high. So I'm going to draw a trend line there. But between 24 and 27, it's kind of a no man's land. Yes, there's some data points, but there's no real hard area of support or resistance that I can see. So space is just going to do space things, and we'll have to see what happens between 24 and $27. But I'm kind of regretting not getting in, but the other half of my brain is saying, you know, don't FOMO into this, because take a look at the RSI. We are close to being overbought on the RSI, which might signal a little bit of a pullback there. So I definitely don't want to FOMO into it, but that's why I'm so frustrated, because I missed out on so many gains. But what are you going to do? You can't win them all. And, you know, it's better to just have cash available than FOMO into a stock or an option and then end up bag holding it. So what are you going to do? If you made it to the end of the video, you guys are absolute legends. What I want you to do, tell me what your favorite animal is in the comments below. As always, if you have any questions or comments, leave them below as well. And happy trading.